I'm going to test your pulses on both sides. So I'm going to check your brachial pulses, okay, and your radial pulses, and then ulnar. Okay. And all pulses are palpable. Okay, so now I'm just going to check your capital. So I'm going to press your finger. And it's less than 3 seconds, so that's great. Okay, so now I'm just going to ask you to do some range of motion exercises. So if you could raise your arms up above your head, and then if you can, raise them behind you, back, just like that, and then abduct and adduct them, so do a T, and then down. Okay, and then for your elbows, the range of motion, you're gonna flex and extend your elbows. Okay, great, and then I'm gonna ask you to do that against resistance, so, okay, and then if you can put it back like that, and then push. Okay, good. Okay, and then make a fist, and spread your fingers, and then if you could touch all of your fingers with your thumb, and flex and extend your wrists, and then another thing with your elbows is pronate and supinate them, so just flip them like that. Okay, good. All right, and then so I'm going to ask you to hold your hands out, your fingers out like this, and then just touch your nose without turning your head, with one at a time.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. All right, and then just go a little bit faster as you do it. Okay, okay. Alrighty, so, and then I'm going to test for graphesthesia and sterignosis. So first I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and I'm going to write a number in your hand, and you tell me what the number was.
6.
Okay, great. And then the other hand?
3.
Okay, perfect. And then for the next one, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes again. And then I'm going to put an object in each hand, and you try and tell me what it is.
A coin.
Yes. Okay. And then the other hand.
A key.
Okay, perfect. All right, and then the last thing I'm going to do with your arms is I'm going to check your reflexes, okay? So I'm going to first ask you for, on this side, I'm just going to assess your tricep, okay? And then I'm going to do brachial, okay? And then one more on this hand, and it is going to be, I'm sorry, that was bicep. This one is brachial.
Okay.
Okay. And then same thing on this arm, tricep, and then bend, and let's see if you could just relax a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, and then brachial, or bicep, sorry, and then relax your hand. Okay, great. And so next I am going to inspect the front of your chest. I'm just looking for work of breathing, any labor breathing, and you don't seem to have any, so that is good. And so now I'm gonna take my stethoscope, and I'm gonna listen to the different places that I can hear your heart.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna listen twice. I'm gonna listen first with the diaphragm of my stethoscope, and then with the bell.
Okay.
So first, I'm listening to the aortic area. Okay. And then pulmonic. And then tricuspid. And then mitral. Okay, same thing again with the bell of the stethoscope this time. So aortic. Pulmonic, tricuspid, and mitral. Okay. All right. So everything sounds good. I can hear your heart in all of the areas. I don't hear any thrills or anything, so that's good. Okay. So next, for for your abdomen, I'm just checking, I'm gonna look at the skin, I'm looking at the contour. I don't notice any pulsations. Your abdomen is flat, so that's good. And then I'm just looking at your belly button, and I'm checking to see if you have any hernias, and you don't, and so that's good. And your belly button is inverted. Okay, and then now I'm going to listen to your vowel sounds. I'm just going to listen in all 4 quadrants. Okay, and your vowel sounds are active, and so now I'm going to listen to your renal arteries with the bell of my stethoscope. So they're going to. Okay, and I don't hear any swishing, so that is good. You don't have any bruise. Okay. Okay. And so now I'm going to percuss over all 4 quadrants, and I'm just listening for spots with air and over organs. Okay. And then I'm going to palpate your abdomen. I'm going to feel around. You just tell me if anything hurts, and I'm going to do light and then deep, and then I'm going to feel your liver, okay?
Okay.
No tenderness.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No tenderness.
Okay. And then I'm going to just feel for your liver. Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. And for your legs, first I'm just looking. So thank you so much. Okay, and I don't know any abnormalities, and you just let me know if you feel any tenderness whenever I'm touching.
Okay.
Okay. And then I'm going to check the pulses on the back of your knee, and then there are 2 on your foot that I'm going to assess.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to palpate pulses. Okay. And then I'm going to do. Okay. And then there's one on the top of your foot.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And then whenever I felt and pressed down, I don't feel any edema. There's no swelling.
Okay.
So that is normal. And so now I'm just going to ask you to do some more range of motion exercises. So I'm going to ask you to just raise your one leg at a time to 90 degrees. Okay. Okay. And then again, but to knee to chest. Okay. And then if you could point your knees in towards each other and then out. Okay. And then just abduct and adduct each leg, so just bring it out and in, and then out and in. Okay, great. Okay. And so for your feet, the range of motion exercises that we're going to do, I'm going to ask you to flex your foot upwards. Okay. And then, yes, and then point. Okay. And then I'm going to ask you to do that against resistance. So,
Okay.
Okay. And then, okay. All right. And then while I still have you laying down, I'm going to test your Babinski reflex. And any movement fanning out would be abnormal, but if you curl your toes, that is not abnormal. So I'm just assessing for that. So I'm just going to. Okay. And your toes kind of curled, so that is normal. And then before we move on, I'm going to ask you to take your heel and run it down your shin, and then the opposite side. And then if you'll sit up on the side of the bed, I'm gonna test your reflexes on your knee and then on the back of your heel.
Okay.
Okay, just tell me when you're ready.
Ready.
Okay.
Is this okay for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm gonna do this. Okay. Okay. All right, and let's see. The last couple things I'm gonna ask you to do, I'm gonna ask you to just stand up beside the bed, and then if you could walk that way on your heels and then walk back to me on your toes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, that's good. All right, and then I'm gonna ask you to stand still and close your eyes, and I'm just assessing. This is the Romberg's test. I'm assessing for any swaying, and yours is normal, so that's good. Okay, and then I'm gonna ask you to hop on one leg.
Okay.
Okay, and then the other leg. Okay, and then if you will turn around, and I'm just looking at your spine.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm looking at your spine, and then I'm just gonna feel, and I don't feel anything abnormal, no curvature. And so then the last things I'm gonna ask you to do is bend forward and touch your toes. And then side to side, move side to side. Okay. And then bend back if you can, just backwards. Okay, and then twist your shoulders. Okay, and then that is the end of our physical assessment. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.